Welcome everyone back to Forward Operating Base Lake Fork. I'm Greg Hill. I'm your host of your fishing show today. Today is December the 7th, 2022. Well, that means it's December the 7th, which was the attack on Pearl Harbor. And I just want to say, thank you to any veterans, thank you to any family members who served during World War II, especially. Thanks to them for what they did for us. They changed the trajectory of the entire planet, of where we were going and what America became because of that war. So, hey, I think back all the time about that, and especially with my time in the service and a lot of friends. So, look, here's a shout out to anyone out there that knew anyone who was in Pearl Harbor. My grandfather was a bombardier in World War II, and it changed his life. So I know that had a big influence on everybody out there. So thank you very much for what you did. So let's get on with the fishing report. So the water right now is 58 degrees as I'm sitting out here right now. It's been cloudy mostly day. The sun's broken out a little bit. I took my jacket off. So basically the water depth is sitting at 407.2. So we're 397.2. So we're just about 6 feet, just less than 6 feet low right now, and it's definitely affecting, I think, what's going on with the lake. There's almost no grass in the water at all anywhere. We have a lot of this brush that's grown up on the side, but it's not the same type of grass that we need. So we're hopefully we get some better grass. Look, the lake right now, I mean, yes, I caught two sherlunker fish yesterday that I'm going to register. So I'm just, it's what a great time that was. I mean, if you can see my hand, I've got a fish that was just working me over. I mean, it was just, cut me all bloody everywhere. So, because it basically just, wore out my skin. I didn't have my gloves for some reason. But I'm just going to go over what I've been doing for the last week or two. I got fish kind of jumping around me right now and tell you what I'm doing. But to get into it, look, right now with the water temperatures have cooled off. We had all that rain over Thanksgiving. The foot went up over a foot in a day, like 14 inches or so in one day. Look, another one just hit. They're chasing shad right now. So that's what I'm going to get to. So look, what I've been doing right now are two things. I've been following creek lines, looking for trees and creek lines that are basically in the right depths. I mean, anywhere right now between 6 and 14 feet of what I've been looking for. They're chasing the shad right here. They've been breaking the surface here. They got a big school of them around here that they've been hitting on. So when I'm throwing crankbaits, and I'll show the different kinds. I'm throwing Alabama rigs, I'm throwing spinner baits, but I've also been pitching under docks. I caught some other fish today pitching under docks with Senkos, both wacky rigged and Texas rigged, and I'll talk about that. But I do want to say one thing though, talk about these crankbaits. So I'll just go over the crankbaits first. So look, when you're doing this, you want to have a couple different out. You want to have a larger one, that basically can get down a little deeper, has a rattles in it. And then you want an intermediate one that you can cover all these depths if you're really going to do these trees. Now this is a Fritz flat side, and this is what I caught them on yesterday. And now you tell us this has no rattles in it. I think the fish sometimes, as long as the water has good visibility, I just hooked myself, has good visibility, you can get away with those. But if you don't, if the water's got some 14 inches or less, and you need to have a rattle in there so they can feel that thing coming. And then, so look, a shallow running square bills, I'm throwing those too. So I'm throwing a couple of different crankbaits to work through areas. And then of course, I've got just a white Senko on a wacky rig, and I've got them throwing Texas rig too. So I've been throwing that. Now the crankbait that caught me the most fish the other day was this one. It's the Fritz side, and you can see that it's the Model 7, and it's got a blue black with a white little orange on the tuft there. But that's one of them. And then the Sixth Sense, I think it's a 100 series. It's a BDS one. So just in a white color, looking like these shad, really just trying to match the hatch that's going on. If you go near some of these places, I've seen places that are, I got some, this is bass poop. I literally, because I call these fish, they've been pooping all over my boat. So bass poop. My wife will see that. She's not gonna like that very much. Anyway, but and then when I'm working these trees and working through these areas, I always love throwing this rigged up. It's with usually I put an underspin on it, but this is the Magic Shad from Lake Fork Trophy Lures. So and then, you know, it really gives me a chance to work a bunch of different, you know, areas. If I find the fish around some tree, find the fish in a creek line, I can pretty much work all of them that I want to work right there, and kind of cover the whole water column that I'm kind of targeting. Now, obviously, I'm able to use my forward-looking sonar to look at it and kind of judge how the reaction of the fish are, and then decide what I'm going to do with it. Now, when I was fishing back at these docks back here with the Senkos, they were following. I threw the big one in, I threw the big Magic Shad back in there, and you know, it just you know, they followed it and followed it. So then I took out the Senko and threw it back there, and they followed it and they followed it. Finally went to the wacky rig, and that's when it was, I don't know, for some reason it just set them off, and they got caught there too, you know, right there. So that's just one of the things that I've been doing out here. I think the fishing right now is great. I mean, I had a night fishing trip the other day, and it was awesome. So I mean, I think the best 5 are over 30 pounds. You know what, 8, 9, that's 17, 23. I mean, we're talking, you know, way over 30 pounds. So, but look, I just, you know, I can't say it enough. Lake Fork is still putting out some great fish. The fall has been harder for me, though. I will say that. The fall, for numbers wise, has not been as good for me. And I caught some fish on my deeper spinner baits, but not the bigger ones that I've usually been catching. And I think it's got to do with, we went through about 4 different turnovers in different parts of the lake. You know, we had time where the visibility got terrible, and then it got better, and then it got terrible, and it got better. I think we're at like almost like 4 turnovers. And I think it, you know, what I finally found out is it basically set up a scenario that was kind of like last pre-spawn for me, and that was limited visibility for the fish. The fish are hanging right next to the cover. They were still in shallow water, but in the fall here they were a little deeper. But the issue is they you know, what I say is that you'll see a tree on your forward looking sonar, and you'll see, you know, the fish. Now, I don't know if you could catch this fish if you didn't have forward looking sonar, honestly. Some of these fish, I don't know if you could do it, because here's a tree and there's the fish, and you got to bring the lure towards the fish, crankbait, whatever it's going to be, and then when it gets 3 to 4 feet away, you got to surge it, make it go faster, get the attention of the fish, let the lateral lines be able to feel that fish coming. Then you had to pause it for a second so it could gain a visual reference to where it was, and then you had to start moving it real slow. If you didn't do all 3 of those things right, the fish, you either spooked it off, or it would basically see it, and then you reeled it away from too fast, it would lose it. It can't follow that bait too far off into the water when it can only see 10 inches in front of its face. So that really had made you had to really throw almost right in these fish's face repeatedly, and then, you know, get in front of them and give them a chance to see it, and then move it away from barely so you could hit it. Or, you know, like the Senkos, you know, you could throw it down, let it float down. But I actually didn't have as much luck doing that. Got it every once in a while, but didn't have as much luck doing that as with the moving bait. The moving bait seemed to be better. You just had to be able to surge it, pause it, and then slow reel it so they get a chance to come hit it, and they would come, you know, follow it. Once they got close into it, they could zoom in on it, and then they would hit it. But you just couldn't reel it away from it too fast. So, well, that's pretty much all I've been doing right now. You know, I mean, there's not very many people on the lake. I tell you, I love the wintertime fishing. You'll see me out here. I mean, like, I fished in the rain and the fog last night, and it took me a while to get back to my property, but holy cow, it was worth it completely. So, but anyway, look, I'm Greg Hill. This is Forward Operating Base Lake Fork. I'll be, you know, getting these things going a little more regularly. I think, you know, what's going on. I had a little technical difficulty again with my codec and the software on my computer, and I think I've got it all fixed out now. So hopefully we'll be able to keep these on a more regular basis. But if you guys ever have any messages or anything you want to ask me about the fishing out here at Lake Fork, please don't hesitate to send me a message. You can go to, I've covered my Facebook page at Forward Operating Base Lake Fork, or you can go to my YouTube channel, obviously here, or you can go to my Instagram. So those are the 3 things that I do. And obviously I have a website, www.FOBLakeFork.com, FOBLakeFork.com. Hey, so anyway, look, I'm going to sign off, but you guys have a great day fishing. And remember, leave no fish behind.